episode 318 of the Various Assembly Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Harmon, joined live from the Vault Studio on the beautiful campus of Grace College and Grace Theological Seminary by my good friend, my colleague, my co-host, and the man who is ready to get on the road again, John Scott Sloat.
Yeah, flying out next week.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I'll be in Indy all day, Monday, and then fly out Tuesday morning.
Yeah, first time on the road for the institution since probably what?
Early October.
Early October. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I've done some trips to Indy here and there.
Yeah,
went
day
to
trips.
Grand Rapids. Yeah. But to
Okay.
Indy to get on a plane, no. So I had to. What are your thoughts on this? I had to give the invocation at the Chamber of Commerce dinner last night.
Okay.
Public setting, but they invite me to do it.
Yeah.
And they use the word invocation, and I just went up there and said, "Let's pray." And I prayed to Jesus. You know, I've been to some of these invocations where, like, my goodness, that could have been a prayer to the God of the New Testament. That could function as a Jewish prayer.
Yeah.
Or in Islamic prayer. You know, that's very much some foundations that I've been to. Do prayers that way before meals. I just went up there and was just like, you know, prayed in Jesus' name. You know, what's your do you get invited to do public prayers at
I
community
don't.
events?
I don't.
Okay, I just don't know what the protocol is.
I don't move in those circles, Sean.
I thought maybe I offended people. I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was appropriate. No one trained me on this. We didn't cover this in seminary.
You didn't consult with your boss on this?
No, I think I meant to, but I didn't.
I see.
So,
Of course, he's out of town.
he's out of town. That's why I was praying instead of him,
I see.
because he gets invited.
Yeah.
But when he's gone, they shoulder tap.
You're the backup prayer.
I'm the backup prayer.
Okay.
And somebody looked at me last night. Do you have notes?
Do you?
And I looked at them and I said, "No, I've prayed before.
I've prayed. This is not my first rodeo here.
This is something I've done a few times in my life."
Yeah. That's
So-
funny.
But it was there's probably 600 to 800 people there last night at the chamber dinner.
That's what was in the
MOCC
in the mock.
last night. Yep.
I was trying to figure out what that was. What was getting set up last night? So.
Yep. They hand out the Man and Woman of the Year each year.
Okay.
I did not know the Man and Woman of the Year for our county, for our chamber. I don't know if it's our county, but I suppose it is our county. Kosciuszko was over everything, but it's a vibrant community, business community. It's a pretty cool event to go to.
All right.
You'll learn a lot.
Yeah. The movers and the shakers. See, John, I'm not in those circles.
It's fun to just run into everybody. It's like, oh, all the people I try to get in contact with come to campus or in one room together.
There you go.
And they invited sorry, I'm going off on last night. They invited the keynote was, I don't know her name, but she basically runs all of the major events in Indianapolis. So she did the Super Bowl in 2012 in Indy. That was so big. The Final Four. She did the WNBA All-Star Game. So she works for Gainbridge, the field house down there.
Yep.
And sort of runs all those events for them.
Wow.
And she goes, yeah, and before I did that, I was in she worked for Dick Cheney.
Okay.
And so she worked in the White House, and was when she was telling a story. She was an intern for a senator from Indiana. I can't remember his name. And Dick Cheney, I think, was Secretary of State, maybe Chief of Staff.
You mean in a form in Bush 41?
Maybe Bush 41, maybe Reagan.
Okay.
But so she said she was an intern, and she got a phone call and was like, "Hey, this is Dick Cheney. Put me through, Secretary of State, Chief of Staff, whatever he was.
Yeah.
Put me through to the congressman." She goes, "Sure." and she goes to put him through, accidentally hangs up on him.
Oof.
And she's like trying to fix it and everything. She calls the congressman out. He comes out of his office. They're trying to fix it. In the door walks Dick Cheney. And he looks at, I'm here to meet with you. Like, let's step into my office,
Yeah.
you know. She's like, oh no, I'll never get another job, you know.
Yeah.
But she was great. She was a lot of fun.
Sounds like she had some great stories.
Yes. She considered Dick Cheney's children as friends. And so she talked about like, I lost a great mentor and boss, but I was also comforting my friends who lost their father, and talking about that.
Yeah.
So it was a fun night.
Excellent.
And that's my one thing I like was the chamber dinner last night.
You can't jump the gun on that, John. We have an order. We have a show rundown.
I'm going to write it down right now just so I don't forget.
We are 318 episodes in. And although we haven't done we have done one thing we like for every episode.
Yeah.
That was from the
every
beginning.
episode. We've had that from the beginning.
We've done this 317 times now, John. You cannot jump the gun.
I just did. I'm in a little bit of fun. I'm in a fun mood this morning.
All right.
By the way, it's Friday.
It is Friday.
Just so listeners know.
Yeah. Yeah, we're recording early because both of us are actually traveling.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Minneapolis.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Quiet little town.
Yeah. Careful.
They're handing out Kevlar vests to all the speakers, so it's good.
Okay. Gosh. Well, I'm going to D.C. I'm not sure that's much better.
At least lately it's probably been. I don't know. If you'd like to contact the show and, ask John more stories about his hobnobbing with the important people, you can find us on X at VNSPod. Email the show, variousandsundrypodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and on YouTube, and we would love for you to leave a 5-star rating on whatever platform you are accessing the show. All right, so since we're recording early, it makes doing the sports segment a little bit more challenging.
Well, it's like the perfect week, though, for it, because it's the week between the AFC and NFC championship games and the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Where's the Super Bowl at this year?
Is it in the Rams Stadium?
Is it in L.A.?
Well, no, it's at the 49ers Stadium, Santa Clara.
Okay, so it's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Or near San Francisco.
Yes. So, there's not a ton going on. We can, I suppose we should do our Super Bowl predictions because, will we have another episode that drops before the Super Bowl? We won't.
No, we won't.
Okay. All right. So,
who do you like? We got the Seahawks against the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think I made the joke last week that it's a Super Bowl we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. I'm going with the Seahawks.
I am too.
I think your boy
Sam Darnold
gets it done.
Okay.
I think they are going to find ways to get the ball to Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp, and I think their running back Kareem Walker is a beast, and so I think I'm just not convinced the Patriots have enough offense to probably to make it happen. So that's my take.
Okay.
Who you got?
I got the Seahawks mostly because I'm rooting for Sam Darnold.
Okay.
And I don't like the Patriots. So I'm not sure I have good rational explanation like you did for rooting for them, but I want the Seahawks to win.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't like New England.
Gotcha. Good to know. So now I think I saw a stat the other day that was interesting. Sam Darnold becomes the first quarterback from USC to start a Super Bowl. That's surprising.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they've had some good quarterbacks that have come out of USC.
Carson Palmer, never played in a Super Bowl.
But even going further back than that. I mean, obviously, it's a little distorted. You know, you look at the list and it's like, well, there have been 10 Super Bowls, 10 started started by a quarterback from Michigan. Well, like 8 of those are
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Sure.
You know. But yeah, that was just interesting to me to see that happen. And same's true for Drake May out of North Carolina. Never had a quarterback from North Carolina start a Super Bowl. Which that's a little bit more believable. They don't have the same football pedigree as USC.
Yeah. Interesting.
So okay. Anything else on the Super Bowl, on the NFL?
I don't think so. I mean, there's not much going on in the NFL right now. Well, the Jets are a hot mess. Have you been following that?
I have not.
So they fired their defensive coordinator midseason.
Okay.
They told their offensive coaching staff they were safe and then fired them all, including the offensive coordinator. They had originally told their offensive coordinator, "Hey, you're going to keep the offensive coordinator title, but we're going to bring Frank Reich in to run the offense."
Okay.
And so so he didn't like that.
Understandably.
And so they mutually decided to part ways.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, now they have to go through the whole process because of the Rooney Rule.
Ah, yes.
And so because I think the hope was you keep the guy with the title OC, so you don't have to be subject to the Rooney Rule.
Yes.
But now because he's left, they're subject to the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
And so they're doing the Rooney Rule thing right now. But it's Frank Reich. That's who it's going to be, you know. And supposedly they're going to bring in another guy to do the running game, and then they were going to hire this veteran defensive coordinator, but Aaron Glenn wanted to call plays, and that was a big sticking point. And so now they've hired sort of this no-name defensive coordinator, and Aaron Glenn's going to be calling plays and really be the head coach and the defensive coordinator. Everything's a mess. Nothing is easy.
That's quite an organization you got there.
Yes, and he's not making public statements, but I just know Woody Johnson is pulling the strings in the background.
That's the owner.
That's the owner, yes. And he's a trust fund kid. He's a 60-year-old trust fund kid.
Okay.
Who bought the team because he liked to. I mean, when he was the ambassador of the United Kingdom, he would come back to the Jets facility and make the players call him Mr. Ambassador.
Nice.
He needs to sell the team.
Doesn't seem likely, though, does it?
Well, he was asked by a reporter, "Are you a good owner?" And he goes, "I don't think so. No, look, we haven't won. I'm not a good owner."
Yeah, but when it's a hobby, like he's not in this to make money.
No, he does want to win.
Yeah, agreed. But it's not like he's. If it's a business venture, you're like, well, am I making money? I'm not making money. Maybe I should get rid of this. But when it's like, this is kind of a hobby / passion of mine, you're just less likely to get that person to sell, even if they realize I'm not doing this well.
Yeah, which New York sports are all owned by guys who this is a hobby, right? This isn't a business venture.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, James Dolan for the Knicks, right? Definitely isn't looking to make money.
Well, they would like to make.
They would like to make money,
but that's not their.
But it's more
top priority.
It's more virtue signaling, right? I mean, it's more just like sort of a symbol for the the wealthy community of Manhattanites.
Yeah,
that they own the sports team.
Yeah, it's a couple levels beyond the nice house in the Hamptons and the yacht and those sorts of things.
The helicopter,
the status symbols. Yeah.
Steve Cohen owns the Mets. He has openly said, "I see my work as the owner of the Mets as a public service."
Okay.
And then Woody.
Okay.
The Tisch family with the Giants. That's another. I don't really pay attention that much over there, but that seems to be the case. And the Steinbrenners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the money it takes to own a professional sports team by definition limits typically the kind of person that becomes an option.
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk a little bit about our Grace men's basketball team.
Yeah.
Still unbeaten.
21-0.
21-0 now. Were you at the game Wednesday? Or did you guys cancel the?
We canceled
event?
the suite
Okay.
because of low participation, and it
It was a cold night too.
yeah. And most of my guests were coming from Fort Wayne and just sort of canceled on me at the last minute.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to cancel, and then I knew I'd be out last night with the chamber dinner, and so I decided I need to go home and help with the babies, particularly because I'm out of town next week.
There you go.
So no, I was not there. I saw we won by like 11.
We did. It was not our best performance.
Okay.
Tied at the half. Didn't play well in the first half. And this is a team we beat by 33 on their home floor. So, and then came out and started that second half on an 11-0 run.
Nice.
And then played even the rest of the way, pretty much. So
who do we have this weekend?
Huntington on the road.
That's a tough game.
That is a tough game. And that is where Lancer fans will remember, was it 2 years ago? Well, I think it was 2 years ago, where Grace's undefeated streak ended to start the year. That team with Elijah Malone and Ian Scott. I think they had it up to like 24-0 and then went on the road and lost at Huntington in a game where Huntington just hit a ridiculous number of threes. I think they were something like 17 of 31 from three, like some like absurd kind of rate of making threes. So tough place to play. But yeah, I will be there, not broadcasting, just enjoying.
You're just going to the game?
Just enjoying. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, they are in good shape. They're the only unbeaten team in the NAIA.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, as I see it, they and Freed Hardeman
are
the two best teams.
Yeah.
And it's not a given, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're on a collision course to meet in the national title game.
At some point in the
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that they would try to put them on the opposite sides of the bracket as the two best teams.
Yeah.
So that, ideally you want to try to keep the two best teams not meeting until the championship game if you can manage that. So, all right. Let's talk about our main topic for the day.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes.
We'll see. I have some feelings.
Okay. Yeah, so we're calling this the DoorDash Lifestyle. And
Do you have DoorDash?
no.
Okay, I do.
I think I've used Uber Eats a couple of times,
Okay. Very similar.
but I do not have a DoorDash account. You?
I sure do. One of my credit cards gives me a Dash Pass, so I don't pay like a service fee for my DoorDash account.
All right. And how often do you use it?
A couple times a month.
Okay. Do you use it when you're home or on the road?
Home.
Got it.
So, So one of the things we do is we go to Costco, and you can buy a DoorDash gift card for $100 DoorDash gift card for $85.
Okay.
It's like free money.
All right.
So we use that up in a month or two usually.
Got it. Okay. So anyway, I came across a tweet from Michael Graham.
Yep.
Who is head of the Keller Center for Cultural Apologetics at the Gospel Coalition.
Yep.
And someone we've had on campus. Need to get him back on campus, get him in studio.
He'll be back at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he kind of quote tweeted this tweet thread that we're going to look at today.
Yeah.
And so it's talking about the DoorDash lifestyle. And it's kind of rooted in generational dynamics, let's put it that way. So that there's this tweet thread is kind of responding to someone posting, "Can someone explain to me where kids are getting the money to live a DoorDash lifestyle? I can't figure it out." In other words, people ordering, especially we're talking about Gen Z folks, basically. Ordering a $16 poke bowl delivered with tip is going to cost you $30. Okay. And this person's trying to understand how that person how people can afford to do this. And again, we're not talking about people who are making,
tons of money,
crazy amounts of money. We're talking about, very ordinary or lower levels of income.
Yep.
Okay. So this thread is an attempt to explain how what the mindset is among Gen Z. Now, I think both of us, as we read this, will want to put caveats along the way. This is a very sweeping generalization about Gen Z that I don't think is certainly true across the board, obviously.
Yeah.
I think this might hit a specific segment of Gen Z, but is not necessarily. But so here's the explanation. He breaks it down into three kind of headings. The first one, the marginal cost of money changed for Gen Z. He says for older adults, spending $30 feels like spending $30. For kids today, the psychological cost is closer to 3 microtransactions worth of friction.
I don't know that I understand that sentence.
So he goes on to talk about the financial environment for Gen Z. Living in a world of instant digital payments. That's true, obviously.
Yeah. Is Venmo.
Venmo.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cash App.
Yep.
Yeah.
Low commitment gig incomes.
Okay. So delivering for DoorDash.
Sure. Yep. Or driving for Uber. Yeah.
Yep.
Or other things. Yeah. Parents transferring money fluidly. In other words, the ability for mom and dad to send you money through Venmo or Zelle or something like that.
Yep.
Side hustles paid in irregular small bursts. And stimulus-era normalization of cash flow volatility. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. This is checks from the feds, right? Is that?
I think that's part of it. I think he's just saying, we live in an era, or Gen Z has sort of been accustomed to the, ups and downs in cash flow. And then he goes on to give this explanation. I don't know how true this rings to you. I don't know a ton of teenagers to the depth to be able to press this, but he says teenagers today often have $30 now, $0 tomorrow, $50 on Friday, $15 in crypto, $70 in Cash App from someone they did homework for. That's problematic.
Yeah, that's a problem.
A $20 Venmo from grandma, which shout out to grandma for using Venmo.
Yeah.
That seems, I don't know about grandma, maybe mom and dad or something.
Yeah.
And $60 from a weekend shift. And he goes on to say, there is no budget, there is flow. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't like so if you caveat this around teenagers, like somebody living underneath their parents' roof, it makes sense. Right? I don't think this is...
Where they're not paying rent. They're not paying...
They don't have regular bills, right? Maybe mom and dad hit them for a little car insurance money, or maybe mom and dad hit them for a cell phone bill.
Or they have to pay for their own gas for their car.
Right. So, I mean, so that, that's $60, $70 probably does what they needed to do, right? As a long-term sustainability, like I don't know that this is that different from when I was in high school.
Okay.
right? I think the big difference is we use cash
Yeah.
when I was in high school. So
The
somebody gave me
mechanisms were not the same.
the mechanisms were not the same, but the idea that like, well, I had $150 in my bank account, and I took $100 out to buy something, or to, hey, here's $5 for driving, gas money for you. You know, those things all happened. The mechanisms were the crypto thing is different.
Yeah.
But I don't actually see them using crypto here. It's just kind of thrown in there as a buzzword.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's that different from teenagers a generation ago.
I think that's probably true.
Now, I don't think that's sustainable in the long term. And I think he's making in my mind, he's making an implied case that like this is how Gen Z is going to operate for the remainder of their lives.
Yes.
And I don't think that's true.
Yeah. I mean, eventually reality starts to catch up to you.
Yes.
And even just some measure of maturity where I think you start to think there are bigger things that I want. And so I probably can't sustain
Correct.
Using money for lesser things. Again, I think I mentioned this on the pod, but I see these things pop up on my Twitter feed a lot in terms of the two extremes of here's the 24-year-old who is complaining about I'll never be able to save up enough money for a house. Expenses are so much, and I feel like I was sold a bill of goods. I'm $150,000 in college debt, and I can barely pay my rent with the job that I got out of college, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Gen X and Boomer crowd being like, well, maybe you shouldn't be going to Starbucks and spending $7 a day on your latte.
Yeah.
And I think there's elements of there are things to be heard in both of those statements. That there probably are some expectations maybe that Gen Z folks have in terms of maybe they lived with a level of affluence under their parents' roof that they expect to immediately have themselves when they get out.
Yeah. Avocado toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not realistic in 98% of cases.
And I don't think it's just Gen Z. I mean, they made similar cases about millennials when we were coming out of college, right? And millennials, I do think there is a sky is falling phenomenon among every generation as they're coming out of college, and it happened for millennials. Probably the only ones it didn't happen for that I can remember, boomers. It just didn't happen for because it was such post World War II. America was on the rise, right? There was just this wealth engine that was taking place through the 80s. I think Gen X had some more issues.
Yes.
And still do, right? Like boomers are not leaving their jobs. They're working till they're 75. And I think Gen X is ready to retire by the time boomers are ready to retire.
Yes.
That seems to be what's happening.
Yes. Yeah. So on the one hand, you get stop buying Starbucks every day and spending $7. Like, yeah, there's an element of truth to that. Like maybe some tighter financial discipline would benefit you. But at the same time, realizing, for example, we'll get into this, like the housing market. Like
it's gotten insane.
It's so insane that the possibility of saving enough money for a down payment seems utterly unrealistic, even if that Gen Z person's like, well, I don't go to Starbucks. I make basic coffee at home. I don't go out to eat. I don't have a big entertainment budget. I have one streaming service that costs me $7 a month. Like I'm doing all of the things that Dave Ramsey would say, this is what you're supposed to do, and I still see no path forward for being able to save that kind of money for a down payment.
Yeah.
So,
Do
anyway.
you want to get into housing a little bit here?
We will.
Okay.
Number 2, consumption is now social currency. Older generations spent money to solve problems. Gen Z spends money to signal identity, reduce friction, and avoid emotional drag.
I don't like that dichotomy because I think forever people have spent money to signal identity or to signal some sort of wealth.
Yes, and I don't think – now, Do you think he has a point that it is especially pronounced among Gen Z in comparison to maybe previous generations? Or do you think this is just human nature?
I think it's probably just human nature. I mean, I think it probably pops up in different ways in different generations, but it's the same root human nature sort of thing. Do you feel differently?
I think it might be a little bit more pronounced among Gen Z, in part because with social media, you have more and more access to and pressure to spend money in those ways.
Yeah.
To present a specific image and identity. And you're exposed to more and more influencers who are trying to get you to do that. Not that that didn't exist in previous generations, but I think it's more pervasive than it was.
What do you think of the avoiding emotional drag? I mean, later on he goes, this DoorDash generation thing removes negative psychic load in food delivery is an anxiety management subscription.
I don't know what that
It's hard. It's hard for me to go like toughen up, Buttercup. You know, it's tough for me not to be the old man screaming at cloud, right? Mm-hmm. To be like, dude, humans have been making their own food for thousands of years.
Yeah. Well, and even basic grocery shopping is far cheaper than this and allows you to make food for yourself that would be much more cost effective. But, you know, think about this too. There is a basic dynamic of when do you tend to use DoorDash, for example?
So most of the time, because we have such a long drive from church to our house, we'll use it on our drive home from church. We get home at about 1 o'clock. Yeah. And so we're hungry, and so we like to have food there when we arrive.
There you go. Yeah. So it's a convenience.
It absolutely is.
And so it's not unusual. It's not, it's not generational to feel that like, okay, based on the circumstances of the day, I think today's a day where we just order in, so to speak.
Get pizza.
Yeah, get pizza or whatever.
100%.
So that's not new.
The framing, like, I don't know that I would ever say like, hey, I need to reduce my anxiety. Yeah. So we're going to order pizza. Yeah. Like I just wouldn't, I don't know. I never would phrase it that way. Yeah. And I don't actually think it reduces anxiety.
Yeah, I don't know.
As delicious as pizza is.
Yeah. He says food delivery is an anxiety management subscription, and they learned this from Amazon Prime. I'm assuming he means like two-day shipping.
Yeah, I assume so.
And in some locations now, like same day. Like if you're in a major metropolitan area, you can get something same day. Yeah. Uber, TikTok dopamine tuning.
I just have no clue.
Frictionless apps and the collapse of effort-based value signals. Convenience is the default baseline now.
I don't know what those last 3 bullets mean. TikTok dopamine tuning, frictionless apps, and collapse of effort-based.
I assume it's easier to a few taps in an app and you've got something you like on the way that you don't have to put effort into, is my guess. But this last point is maybe the most interesting to me. 3, the middle class collapsed, but lifestyle costs decoupled from income. This is the part most boomers and Gen X don't understand. That's me. I'm Gen X. You apparently have a shot at this since you're a millennial.
Yeah. Well, let me translate for you.
Thank you. Yeah. If you could put this into language I can understand. Kids aren't behaving like they're poor. They're behaving like people living in a post-middle class economy where ownership is dead, savings are pointless, buying a home is impossible, college is a debt sentence, inflation destroys the dollar, wages do not map to adult milestones, and upward mobility is gone.
I'm kind of waiting for the follow-up of real communism has never been tried, right? That's kind of what I'm waiting for following all of this. But I think I do think we have a housing issue. However, I think it's on the supply side.
It is.
And government regulation side in large metropolitan areas.
That's a big piece of it. And not even just large metropolitan. I mean, we don't live in a large metropolitan area, and there's just a lack of available housing, which drives up prices.
Sure. Well, I will say this. It's more affordable here than in other parts of the country, right?
Way more affordable here. That's one of the biggest advantages of living here.
So, and I think that's something that people are not considering strongly enough as moving to cheaper areas of the country.
Well, and that's the thing, especially if you have a situation where you can do remote work, if you can work from anywhere,
100%, yeah,
then why not consider moving out of your beloved New York City, to a smaller rural community where you could actually afford to buy a house, rather than renting a 500 square foot apartment somewhere in the city for $2,700 a month.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I still pay attention to New York headlines from time.
Of course.
And did you know they just passed a law that says to hook up a gas stove, it must be done by a licensed plumber?
No.
They just passed that law. I did this on my house for free. I hooked up our gas stove for free. Now, there's tests you do to make sure that it's not leaking, right? You do, but it's spray a little WD-40 on it to see if it bubbles up, right? That's going to show you if there's gas coming out.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
And, of course, to have that professional do that probably costs you $500 minimum.
Yeah, a few $100 to have them hook up a gas stove.
Yep. He goes on. They shift, that is Gen Z, they shift to a present maximization mindset. If the future is unaffordable anyway, why not buy the burrito now? Younger people are not reckless. They are rational inside a broken incentive system. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Describing youths as rational is problematic in my mind.
This is the punchline. DoorDash is a symptom. A society where, and he's got bullet points, future stability is gone, wages stagnate, housing is unattainable, attention is fragmented. Attention is fragmented. Convenience is normalized. Friction feels archaic. Everything is mediated digitally. We'll produce kids who treat $30 like a tap on a screen, not a financial decision. They're not funding a lifestyle. They're surviving inside the economy they were handed.
I still am waiting for, and real communism has never, or real socialism, whatever the famous saying is.
I mean, in fairness, I do think he is being descriptive, not prescriptive. I think he's just saying that I'm trying to explain how Gen Z thinks when it comes to handling money.
Yes, but I think I think you could say a version of this for every generation.
Sure.
Right? Like convince any 16-year-old kid to save money. It's tough. And it's a discipline that's why Dave Ramsey's so successful. Right? Is because people want stuff now. This isn't a new phenomenon where people are just getting into debt now.
Yeah.
Right? It's got a long tail.
Yes. I mean, I remember one of the things that my wife would regularly say to our sons when they would want something that they couldn't afford and they would want mom and dad to buy it for them is they would look out as Kate would look outside and point to my beater car, whichever version it was that I was driving at the time, and say, "Do you see the car your dad is driving?" That's a choice because he values other things more than whatever he might, do you think he'd prefer to drive a nicer car? Yes. But right now, there are other things that are a bigger priority. So he drives the junker.
Yeah.
back and forth to campus. Now, I don't drive a junker anymore.
No.
My kids have moved out, and so I'm not paying for college education or anything. Like, my financial situation has changed a little bit, but that was the point. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I get more and more students who are debt sensitive when I talk with them, even as I'm doing academic advising, them being like, I don't know if I'm coming back next year, or maybe I'll take a gap year here to make some more money because I don't want to have to borrow too much money. And yeah, there's an argument to be made about the fact that there are massive portions of our economy that are more expensive than they used to be, even adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
You think of education, you think of healthcare, you think of housing. Those are the three big
ones.
Big pieces of an economy. And all of them are substantially more expensive even after adjusting for inflation than they were 40 years ago.
Yep. 100%.
You know, is it possible for a student to pay their own way through college as they go? Maybe.
Community college probably.
But not most places.
Not most places, no.
Which, when I went to college, that was essentially doable. Where between working during the school year and working during the summers, you could basically pay your way. So it is different. It is different. I know we're running long on time, but I do want to sort of step back and say, what's the so what here in terms of how does this help us understand this generation, and even thinking in terms of ministry, thinking in terms of their spiritual growth and development? Because you and I obviously interact with Gen Z folks a lot.
Well, I think encouraging as because there's a little bit of fatalism in here.
Sure.
I think
Agreed.
Encouraging them that there have been hard times in human history before, right? And sort of reminding them that the church, humans have persevered.
Yeah.
And so reminding them that things do change. You grow, you develop.
Yeah.
The Lord is with you and walks with you through these situations and is by your side in the midst of them. Needs to be an encouragement that Gen Z is reminded of.
Yeah.
Or really any young people
Yeah.
need to be reminded of.
Well, and I think along with that, you have the reality that we as believers should have a different set of values than what's articulated here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That even if this is sort of standard fare, which we think is maybe a little overstated at points,
Yes.
even if that's standard fare for Gen Z, we want to call them to, but are those really biblical values? Are those biblical mindsets? Are those biblical attitudes? And if they're not, then calling them to live in a way that's consistent with biblical values, I think is important. As well as, I think, not being the grumpy old man, like, well, just suck it up, buttercup, and, just try harder. Like, I think there can be a place for being sympathetic to, there are some challenges you're facing.
There's some real hard things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
there are definitely some challenges you're facing. And I'm not ignorant of those. But, like you said, the Lord's with you, and we will trust Him to provide for you and make wise decisions along the way and see what doors the Lord opens up for you.
Well, I think you'll agree with this pushback I'm about to give you. I do think there is a place to go. You need to be a little bit thicker skinned.
Sure.
If you're going, gosh, I need to order DoorDash to reduce the weight of the anxiety upon me. If they're saying that, I'm going to be like, somebody needs to hit you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that gets at the spiritual root of, is that how the Lord would have you deal with your anxiety?
Yeah.
Is that any different than, other ways of numbing your anxiety or distracting yourself from it. It's different in some ways, but still not the way that the Lord would have you cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you.
Sure.
That sort of thing. So, all right, we've gone long there, but time now for This Day in Sports History.
All right, This Day in Sports History, February the 3rd, February 3, 2026.
Yeah.
So in 1924, Canada beat the United States 6-1 and retained the Olympic ice hockey gold medal. They won the 1920 Summer Games.
Yeah, so basically 1924 was, from what I understand, the first Winter Olympic Games, but they had ice hockey at the 1920 Summer Games.
Canadian Harry Watson, top scores, has 46 points.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. 1990, jumping in the future considerably from 24. 1990, American jockey Bill Shoemaker, I assume that's 58 years old,
Yes.
retires after his 40,350 race on a horse.
That's an absurd number of races.
That's a lot of races. He continues his career as a horse trainer.
I mean, 40,000
You had to
races.
start at like 13, right? I mean, maybe even sooner, maybe 10.
And surely, to reach that number, you've got multiple rides in a day kind of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's just incredible.
Are you doing the quick math?
I'm going to do the math. You
Okay,
keep going.
okay.
I'll come back.
98, Florida Panther Dino Ciccarelli, I think I'm getting that right, is the 9th NHLer to score 600 career goals.
Okay, so 40,350 races. Even if he just raced one race every day, 365 days a year, it would still take him 110 years to do that. So
Wow.
obviously he's got days in there where he's riding like
3 to 5 races.
at least. At least. Okay.
2008 Super Bowl, let's see, is that 42? 42,
Yes.
am I getting that right?
Yes.
University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona, Giants beat the Patriots 17-14. MVP Eli Manning. Was that the undefeated year for the Patriots?
Think so.
That got ended? At
The
Super
David
Bowl?
Tyree pinned the ball against his helmet catch.
Yeah. Plexico Burress caught the
Yes.
game-winning touchdown in the end zone.
Yep.
2013 Super Bowl, let's see here, 47?
Yes.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. Baltimore Ravens beat San Francisco 34-31. The MVP is Joe Flacco. You know what I remember about that game?
The blackout?
The blackout.
Yeah.
The lights went out in the stadium. At what point?
It's like in the third quarter, I think.
And the momentum of the game.
Completely shifted.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens were up, and then the blackout happened, and then the 49ers started mounting a comeback. It wasn't enough. You also remember what was notable about that Super Bowl. There's one other historic feature of that Super Bowl. Think of the coaches
So that would have been, was that John Harbaugh?
for the Ravens.
And it would have been his brother.
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh on the
Brother
other side.
against brother
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fell apart because that Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, that all fell apart. I don't know what. Did we ever get a good story of what happened there with Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco? Because it felt like they had a good thing going, and then it just fell apart.
I don't know. Because, I mean, he probably lasted there another 2 years before being gone.
When he stepped into Michigan?
I don't remember.
Man.
All right, so who do you like?
I kind of like Bill Shoemaker.
I agree. I mean, my goodness.
That's a lot of horse races.
Can you imagine how sore your body? Like, do you? Like, I mean,
Do you think? What do you think his winning percentage was?
I don't know. You want to look that up?
I
Look that up on chat.
Yeah, I can ask Gemini real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I think. I mean, I assume as a jockey, he's only, what is he, like 5'2", probably. Like, again, jockeys tend to be very short human beings. But 40,000 horse races is something that's hard to wrap your brain around. But do you have news for me? Have information for me?
Okay, so I just asked Gemini. Bill Shoemaker, often called the Shoe,
The Shoe, of course,
had a career that was less about staggering winning percentage and more about incredible longevity and volume. He rode in an era where top jockeys took an immense number of mounts per year. Over the course of his 41-year career, Shoemaker's stats look like this. He had the number we put here, 40,350 rides.
Yep.
He had 8,833 wins with a winning percentage of about 21.9%.
Okay. 1 out of every 5, basically.
Yeah. Why this number is impressive, while some modern jockeys might occasionally hit 25 or 30% in a single season, maintaining a 22% winning percentage over 40,000 rides is nearly unheard of. To put that in perspective, he averaged over 200 wins per year for 4 decades.
That's incredible.
At the time of his retirement, he held the world record for total professional victories. He finished in the money for second or third in 54% of his races.
Wow.
Shoemaker just wasn't a volume shooter. He was a remarkably consistent. He won the Kentucky Derby 4 times, with his last win coming in 1986. Aboard Ferdinand, when Shoemaker was 54 years old, making him the oldest jockey to win the race.
Incredible.
That was a nice little moment there.
That was. I'm glad we chose Bill Shoemaker. All right. One thing you liked.
Chamber of Commerce dinner. I already said it.
Oh, goodness. Breaking protocol around here.
How about yourself?
So I'm going to go with... Actually, I'm going to change. I'm going to call an audible here. I had something else down.
Wow. You also going to mention the Chamber dinner?
I'm
You're
not.
so impressed with my description.
It was not there. My other podcast
Oh, boy.
has been relaunched.
Oh,
The
boy.
Biblical Theology Briefing podcast has been relaunched that I do with Ben Glad. It's available on YouTube, and it's video.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it video-only podcast?
Right now, later this month, it'll be released on the Gospel Coalition feed as audio only.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's been a bit of a journey to get that thing out.
Yeah.
I won't go into the details, but it's been a bit of a journey here since
Interesting.
that. So that's my one thing I liked. All right, John, we have made our Super Bowl predictions. We have talked about the DoorDash Lifestyle. We have talked about Bill Shoemaker, a stud of a jockey.
Oh, good wordplay.
We have talked about the Chamber of Commerce dinner and your invocation.
Yeah, my invocation.
Yeah. And we talked about my other podcast, the Biblical Theology Briefing. And so I think by definition, we have covered our various and sundry topics. And so all that's left to say is, until next time, the Lord bless you all real good.
Later.